Hello and welcome to Warcraft Daily for today, the 16th of May 2013. In today's news we have an interview with Ion Hazzikostas and a whole bunch of blue tweets and stuff, but mainly the interview, which is pretty interesting. Ion Hazzikostas is the lead, I think, dungeons designer, like dungeons, raids, that kind of thing. He's basically the man behind all of that. Now this was an interview with the Convert to Raid podcast, a great podcast, I recommend listening to it. Especially for audio quality, and as weird as that sounds, I don't know how they get such good sounding mics. Anyway, there will be a picture of their website on the screen because, you know, it's only fair that I give them as much publicity as I can since they did the review. Now, for the sort of summary of it. First off, this is going to be split into a whole bunch of topics and stuff to make it easier for you to understand, I suppose. So we have general raiding. Now, they seem to be going against the idea of doing limited attempts, as they don't work in intended. They were saying that, as an example for Lich King, they did limited attempts, and what this actually did was mean the people raided on their ults for the limited attempts and then on their mains. So essentially it was a bit of a fuck up, and people actually spent even more time raiding than they were supposed to. So they seem to be going against this, and people can just do what they want. I think that's a much better way of doing things, and a bit more fair, so yeah, that's good. They also said that they want to encourage more organised pugs. Now, those of you who have sort of joined the game since late Kata and Miss Pandaria don't really know what this is, but it used to be the sort of thing where you could log on at like 6 or 7 PM and easily find a pug to go and do the first few bosses of whatever raid you wanted, really. Okay, half the time it would be a clusterfuck and someone would ninja loot the dragon or something bullshitty like that, but there was a lot of fun to be had, and it was really good for the server community. They say they want to emphasize this, and I'm not too sure how they're going to do that, perhaps by de-emphasizing Raid Finder, or something like that. However, with the next point, I think there could be a way to slip it in. I've also said that normal modes don't serve the kind of casual family and friend guilds that there are a lot of. As an example, if you look at my server, you see the hardcore raiding guilds, you see the casual raiding guilds, and then there's fuck all for anyone else. I think we do 9 hours a week, so it's not really hardcore, but it's casual, but we're one of the best casual, so it's good. But, yes, this cutoff is something that they think is because normal mode doesn't really serve that kind of ultra-casual guild, I suppose. And I think the best way to do this is to make Raid Finder a little bit easier. Don't give it as good gear, and then add an easy mode, so you have easy, normal, and hard mode. Have normal and easy mode be, like, perhaps in the same lockout, something like that, because you don't want people to be able to run them twice. But heroic, I think people should be able to do in a separate lockout, because, you know, it's heroic, it's a different ball game. It's not as simple as just choosing your difficulty level when it comes to heroics. So I think that's what they should do, but all in all, I think these are good things to hear from developers. Next up, we have Throne of Thunder. These are specific things about this dungeon. Overall, the team's very happy with how it turned out. I think most of the players are too, and they're particularly happy with Lei Shen. I think we heard Method saying it was one of the best bosses that they'd seen in a very long time as an end boss. That's good. They also don't think that the difficulty curve was as good as it could have been, especially with Jinrock to Horadon, and I know our guild experienced that, and we only killed Horadon the first time because our paladin bugged, not our paladin, our shaman, no, monk bugged and did a few million DPS, and that's how we killed him. But that was quickly patched, and I think the difficulty curve got a lot better as the patch went on. However, if it actually had have started at a perfect difficulty curve, I think there would have been a lot less complaints about especially 10-man mode of Throne of Thunder. They also seem to be leaning towards the idea of having a less linear raid design next time, saying that players enjoy having the choice, and I think more choice is always good for players, because people ultimately know what they want to do, and better than developers do, so I think that's very good. Hopefully in Orgrimmar we'll be seeing different wings of the city we can do raids in, that kind of thing. So that should be very good. Now, they've also said, and this is quite interesting, that there was a lack of testing on Raden, and that he wasn't tested. The boss was a complete unknown. But this actually led to some problems, like the first kill was because of, I think, what you could call creative use of game mechanics. So, not really as intended. It didn't serve the purpose of being the interesting final boss. I'm pretty sure they learned quite a lot, though. And finally they've said that they think there is too much trash on LFR difficulty, but they seem to be pretty happy with normal, which I'm going to call bullshit on because normal is chock full of trash, too much damn trash, and you spend, like, I don't know, a fourth, a fifth of your time killing trash, and it's not even fun trash. So yeah, I definitely think it should be de-emphasized. Perhaps we'll see a change in the next raid, and it was more that they wanted to backtrack without saying they did to save face or something. But yeah, next up we have Raid Finder. They said that they're pretty happy with the feature, and that a lot of people are using it, and that as opposed to, you know, sort of just the regular raiders getting to see the content, it's now being seen by millions of people. So this is very good, and they've also said that success rates for Lei Shen today are the same as they were for Deathwing on launch. This pretty much means that Raid Finder in Mists of Pandaria is much harder, especially Throne of Thunder, and I think that's a good thing. From what I what I caught from people, it was ridiculously easy in Cataclysm, so that's good to have it a bit harder. Although Duramu level of difficulty, I think just fuck off, that's bad. They also said that Determination was a massive help, and that it really sort of helped gel groups together and keep them pushing through. Now, for a few other little things, they said that the 5.4 raid will be a similar size to Throne of Thunder, that 5.4 has been worked on by the team since the 5.2 PTR, and that they think more dungeons would actually be nice during leveling, so they plan on accommodating this, hopefully in further expansions. This would be good. I think Pandaria was very sparse on dungeons, and that's a pity because they really leaned too much on dailies and too little in dungeons. It should be not the other way around, but sort of a happy medium. And they've also said that the pre-made group requirement for heroic scenarios was to force players to communicate. From a game design perspective, this would allow you to make a more interesting and challenging fight. So I agree with this completely. I think it's pretty good. We have enough stuff that you can just hit like I and go to Raid Finder or Heroic Dungeon Finder or whatever. It's good there's some stuff that actually requires a pre-made group. And finally, we have a whole bunch of blue tweets, and I'm conscious we're running over time a little bit for this show, but that was a pretty nice interview, especially considering who it was with. Now, for the tweets, there's only really 3 that I found interesting, and they said that they're still concerned about late tier PvP and PvE gear, and this pretty much means they don't have a solid solution for going into future expansions. The problem is, like, if you were to compare, say, patch 5.0 PvE gear with patch 5.4 PvE gear, there's a massive difference, absolutely humongous. But the difference is, if you're in 5.0 PvE gear, you're not going to go into 5.4 raids. The problem with PvP is, if you are in, say, 5.0 PvP gear, you're still going to run up to people with the new shiny gear that's really good. They said they're still concerned about this. You know, it would be sort of weird if every single tier they would just increase the level that all gear gets normalized to in Battlegrounds. It would work, but I don't know if that would perhaps de-emphasize the role of gear and make it less rewarding. So, you know what, Blizzard, that's your problem. And finally, they've also said that they have seen some lag and disconnection issues with old versions of Recant and SCADA, in particular with Lei Shen, so go update your add-ons, people. It's very easy. Use the Curse client, I recommend it. And yes, last thing is that they agree that they need a better guild finding system, but that a good system cannot be thrown together. And that's true, but there still needs to be a better guild system. The forums are not good. I've found in my own experience the looking for guild tools a bit shit. So hopefully they'll cobble something together that's compelling. Anyway, that's been it for today's show. Thanks for watching. Please like if you like and subscribe if you want more. Recommend you do. It helps out the show a lot. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.